Some of the most common fire starts in our national wildlands are through recreational activity. Off-highway vehicles, or OHVs as they're sometimes called, continue to be very popular among visitors to our wildlands. This program deals with the operation and inspection of spark arresters on off-highway vehicles. Family-oriented activities on our nation's land have come to include trail riding, dirt bike racing, and the use of other vehicles to gain access to some of the more remote wildland areas. Now, normally this wouldn't be a problem, but these vehicles are often operated near fuel sources. That's why it's extremely important that properly functioning spark arresters be installed on off-highway vehicles. The term passenger vehicle can be used to describe a wide range of motor vehicles, and most vehicle codes differentiate between those that are used for transportation and those that are used for recreational purposes. Dune buggies, motorcycles, and ATVs are not considered passenger vehicles and are therefore required to meet spark arrestor regulation. Now, these regulations vary from state to state, so make sure you consult your agency's most current policy regarding spark arresters, just to make sure you're aware of the laws that govern your area. Now let's take a look at some of the more common OHVs that require spark arresters. All-terrain vehicles, or ATVs as they're commonly called, are usually less than 54 inches wide, weigh less than 650 pounds, and are steered with handlebars. They have 3 or more flotation tires and are operated in a straddled riding position. All ATVs sold in the United States have spark arresters as part of the original factory equipment. Riders, however, sometimes do modify their exhaust systems. Motorcycles are divided into 3 types. There's dual sport, motocross, and enduro. Field inspectors should be able to tell the difference at a glance. Motocross bikes have no headlight or taillight. They often display number plates, have 2 or 4 stroke engines, and a lot of travel in the suspension, which causes them to sit up high. They generally come equipped with a muffler silencer unit that may or may not state, designed for use on closed course competition only. The muffler silencer, though, is not an arrestor. Motocross bikes are very popular among serious trail riders and are acceptable for use on many public jurisdictions if they're equipped with a muffler silencer and an approved spark arrestor. Enduro bikes come factory equipped with a spark arrestor and are legal on public lands. Enduro bikes usually have a small headlight and tail light and are designed for off-highway routes, desert and trail riding, and general off-road use. Dual-purpose bikes are designed for on- and off-highway use and must meet all requirements for use on public highways. This commonly includes headlights, taillights, brake lights, turn signals, metal gas tanks, and license plates. Dune buggies are another popular off-highway vehicle. They too are required to have a spark arrestor for off-highway use. Most dune buggies look the same, but there are 2 differences. Some are street legal and have a license plate and usually a muffler. Mufflers are legal for street use, but they are not spark arresters. Other dune buggies are made for off-road use only and are identified by a straight exhaust. And some of these dune buggies are equipped with spark arresters, but again, mufflers are not spark arresters. Spark arresters work by capturing or pulverizing extremely hot carbon particles greater than 23 thousandths of an inch in diameter that have the potential to start a fire. This is a centrifugal trap type arrestor and is by far the most common arrestor used by off-road enthusiasts. Now, in addition to meeting certain efficiency standards, it must have a clean-out device. And there are several types of methods used to remove accumulated carbon in an arrestor. These methods include a clean-out plug, end cap, clean-out plates, inserts, snap rings, clean-out bands, and Allen or hex bolts. This clean-out requirement is one of the most critical aspects of the trap-type arrestor, and it's also one of the most ignored. The spark arrestor must be serviceable without removing the complete exhaust system. Remember to remind all owners that timely maintenance is a critical element of arrestor effectiveness. Some spark arrestor mufflers require fiberglass packing, and packing should be replaced every 30 hours to maintain efficiency and optimal performance. If a tailpipe is unusually loud, or if there's oil dripping from an exhaust pipe, it's a clear indication that the fiberglass needs to be replaced. And fiberglass is the only approved and qualified packing material. Qualification standards require that all spark arresters be permanently marked with the manufacturer's name or trademark and a model number. When you make contact with an OHV, regardless of what type, a spark arrestor inspection should be made. Explain to the owner exactly what you're doing. Many off-roaders think that a muffler silencer is a spark arrestor. You need to explain that they're only designed for noise control, and only an inspection can determine whether the vehicle is equipped with a spark arrestor. If you're conducting an inspection, remember that the exhaust system can be extremely hot, so use caution. The arrestor will be a chamber-like device located somewhere along the exhaust discharge. Locate the manufacturer's name or logo and model number. This information is required on all tested and qualified models, and it can usually be found on the ends, the side, or on an attached metal plate. And it may be necessary to even clean a portion of the arrestor to find this information. You need to be aware, too, that just because a piece of equipment has the words USDA Forest Service Qualified, Spark Arrestor, or Qualified stamped right on it, doesn't necessarily mean it's a tested and qualified arrestor. A spark arrestor is specifically designed to trap carbon particles, but it's only an approved arrestor after it's been tested, rated, and qualified by the San Dimas Technology and Development Center. The Spark Arrestor Guide Volume 1 for General Purpose and Locomotive Spark Arrestors contains a listing and sketch of all qualified spark arrestor units. When you're performing an inspection, verify that the arrestor is on the green sheet qualified list. Then compare the sketch to the arrestor on the vehicle. There must be an exact match. Then make sure that the vehicle's entire exhaust system is sound and that the arrestor has been properly maintained. The arrestor should be mounted securely within 45 degrees of the qualified position. In off-highway vehicles, this is usually the horizontal position. And your inspection shouldn't stop there either. Check the entire exhaust system and ask the owner to turn off the vehicle's engine. Then, use a pen light to look up inside the arrestor to make sure the interior hasn't been removed or altered. You might be able to see the interior section that deflects exhaust. Then take a rod or a wooden dowel, about an 1/8 inch in diameter, and gently feel for the arrestor's internal parts. Check to see how far the rod or dowel passes. If it passes the entire length of the spark arrestor muffler, it's not a qualified arrestor. You see, all trap-type arrestors have fins or louvers that deflect all the exhaust and prevent the rod from passing all the way through. If you suspect that there may be a problem, ask the owner to remove the arrestor and check it more carefully. Illegal modifications to spark arrestors can be detected during field inspections. Some who operate OHVs may try to fool you into thinking that they're operating legally. And although the arrestor muffler may be stamped with approved model numbers, the internal parts may be altered or removed altogether. You have to conduct a more detailed inspection to find the ones that have been modified. Off-highway vehicle operators modify arrestors to avoid the routine cleaning that ensures they work properly. Others mistakenly believe that they can increase the vehicle's performance by making changes to the arrestor. Here are some of the ways that arrestors are commonly altered: complete or partial removal of parts, perforation of arrestor parts, or inserting foreign objects into a muffler silencer to prevent a probe from passing all the way through the arrestor. Sometimes washers, bottle caps, or seal wool are used to mimic internal arrestor components. And finally, the same conditions that cause spark plugs to foul can also lead to inefficient spark arrestor performance. If they're not maintained, performance is compromised and they're not legal. You should check the exhaust system and make sure there aren't any holes, gaps, loose connections, or any areas where exhaust can escape without first passing through the arrestor. If any part of the exhaust system is compromised, then the whole vehicle will not pass an inspection, even if the arrestor is qualified and functioning. The Spark Arrestor Guide is really your best source of information. Every qualified arrestor appears in that guide or one of its supplements. If the equipment piece can't be found in the guide or supplement, it's not a qualified arrestor. Be sure to tell owners that spark arrestor laws include the phrase, "in effective working order," and that they do need to be cleaned periodically to remove excess carbon particles and to work efficiently. The use and careful maintenance of spark arrestors will help prevent wildland fires. As you become better at identifying qualified spark arrestors, you'll look forward to informing and educating OHV enthusiasts about their proper use and maintenance.